Hey everybody, this is Way to Fail with another Scrolls Ranked Replay, where today we have a game between GhostBomb and Morwenna. Incidentally, two people that I've actually played against in my Let's Play series, but they're both way better than me, and you're going to see why today. So this is a game from GhostBomb's perspective, and we're just going to go ahead and get started. GhostBomb, as usual, playing energy, starting with two cannon automatons, a copper automaton, and a bunch of things that he's not really going to be using up front. What I do find interesting, though, is that he is playing Desperation, a card that you don't see super often being played, but it does have a nice effect of buffing damage real quick. It's a pretty good instant spell. Meanwhile, Morwenna is playing Decay, which is a lot of people are playing Decay right now, at least until new cards come out for other resources. But GhostBomb getting a second copper automaton, so far pretty slow start for both players. GhostBomb not in a rush to get out any creatures at this point, but he doesn't have much in the way of direct damage either, other than the copper automaton. Morwenna starting off with the tethered recruit, and otherwise it's just going to be a pretty simple back and forth early stage setting up the board between these two. So GhostBomb contemplating what cards he has, the life, the universe, and everything. Ditches and drops down the gun automaton. So far not too much to say, just a simple play back and forth as both players seem to be taking their time, even though this is being done from just kind of the replay mod, not in real time. But Morwenna dropping a Cursemonger, which is something you don't particularly want to see on turn 4, but it is a pretty good card. GhostBomb getting the Violent Dispersal, use it if he wants to, but he does get the Copper Automaton instead, which does mean that he's going to Fury now. That's interesting. He's going to Fury and actually clear Morwenna's board. And he's going to have a Copper Automaton there, and he's going to give Morwenna one order. So an interesting trade, but I guess GhostBomb really not wanting to have those creatures on the board. Decay can do a really good job of overwhelming you with creatures if you don't watch it, if you're not careful. So Morwenna playing the Life Stealer and GhostBomb electing to hold on to the Violent Dispersal and Gravelock Elder, who he's going to drop right away. Gravelock Elder is always very good utility cards, even if you don't play other Gravelocks. Meanwhile, Morwenna, 5 resources, really starting to be able to do what he or she wants to do, getting these summons, which a lot of Decay players will pack just one summons in, specifically to draw Puppet Soldiers. Because the Puppet Soldier nutrition combo is alive and well here, and the Languid on this gun automaton means that it's not going to be doing too much here, and the Life Stealer can kill it and take all of its life, if one desires here. Now, GhostBomb, he does elect to get rid of the burn that he picked up. He can drop a Solemn Giant or a Scattergunner. At this point, he may be worried about the Elder's life, so he does move it out of the way. Does elect to move the gun automaton up, so that would force the Life Stealer to possibly jump straight into harm's way at the hands of the Solemn Giant, which is sitting there right there waiting to be activated. Could be activated for a whole attack next turn if GhostBomb elects to, but for now, no idle damage on either side. Morwenna with just 3 cards, but they could be the right cards, as Damning Curse certainly seems to work good. Tethered Recruit as well. And that Life Stealer is going to go back up to max health, although it just lost 1. So pretty good flip there. GhostBomb can't be too pleased with what happened to his Solemn Giant, but you got to expect the Damning Curse from Decay, at least at this point. So once again, GhostBomb dropping down, dropping a Scattergunner as well. He does not have any kind of speed cards at this point, but it looks like he is just going to take out the Tethered Recruit, which is interesting. He's giving Morwenna free resources. But once again, GhostBomb seems to be prioritizing taking down creatures and just living with the consequences. But now it's going to have to be another type of play, because Morwenna is going to drop the Harvester, drop a Blessing of Haste, and is the loneliest Elder of all at this point. But GhostBomb getting the Violent Dispersal, which would be great to use on the Harvester as a great hard counter there. So Damning Curse to Violent Dispersal. We have some pretty decent cards left on the board, or left in GhostBomb's hand. I don't feel like I'm making sense all of a sudden. But Morwenna with just 2 cards can't be too pleased that the Harvester's gone, but once again, we're not seeing from his/her perspective, but we are going to get an Oblivion Seeker, which is a good disincentive to attack certain places. Does drop the Transposition as well, which is interesting. Probably more for card draw at this point, and just to move the Life Stealer out of harm's way. In addition, Morwenna gets another summons to get yet another Puppet Soldier. So 2 of those cards in that hand are Puppet Soldiers at least. There's a second Violent Dispersal on the Life Stealer. And GhostBomb, once again, just electing to take out creatures and suffering the consequences. That's going to be 2 cards from Morwenna. But Ghost Bomb with the sole creature on the board. And if there's a resource, it's Damning Curse. Clears the board entirely. Turn 10, kind of a reset. Ilmar Radier out first. Morwenna with a lot more resources, but energy, if there's any resource that benefits the most from just slowing down the game, getting to the mid game, trying to keep yourself getting overwhelmed by resources, it's energy. So Ghost Bomb, as much as one may say, why are you taking all of these bonus effects and everything, probably the right call, just from the standpoint of energy can get very easily overwhelmed if it's not careful. Now those burns are going to be able to take out the Ilmar Rod-Eater. But of course, Ghost Bomb doesn't have to attack it right away, because unless Morwenna is packing Blessing of Haste, and you can bet your butt that he is, it's not going to be doing too much this turn. So Ghost Bomb electing to wait. Morwenna just hauling in the cards. Ghost Bomb actually drawing a Gun Automaton as well, but getting rid of it for more resources. So he does have a Bombard in his pocket that he can use whenever. He does have a Scattergunner that he should drop. And Ghost Bomb, once again, electing to put pressure on the board here. This is an interesting game because it's round 11, and we still have no idle damage. So this is the slow play for both players at this point. But there's a Damning Curse on the or the Cannon Automaton, and we are back to just a Scattergunner on the board. Fury, two Clock Libraries, and a Solemn Giant. Now that's interesting. Not everybody likes Clock Libraries, but Ghost Bomb is packing 3 of them, so that is one way for energy to draw cards. Morwenna, on the other hand, Decay has plenty of ways to draw cards. Already gotten a few there. 7 cards to Ghost Bomb's 4 with more resources, as there's a Life Stealer. Life Stealer not really going to do anything to the Clock Library, but does put pressure on it. Ghost Bomb may have to find a way to accelerate it, or just drop his other Clock Library if he wants to. Burns one way to try and protect it just a little bit. As this Scattergunner does have a free shot at the idol, no other targets to press, as Ghost Bomb drops down the second Clock Library. That countdown's got to get to 0, and then you'll get 3 scrolls. It's like a magic bonus or something. I don't know. But Morwenna taking the first idle damage, but 6 cards and 9 resources. Still plenty of tricks up his or her sleeve, I'm sure. A second, or actually another Life Stealer. Not a second Life Stealer. That's an Ilmar Hunter. They're on the board ready to go. Ghost Bomb getting a second Bombard, which he doesn't need. The Violent Dispersal could be very useful at some point, although this Clock Library could probably afford to take 2 damage and be okay, because Decay doesn't really have too much to fight with structures, but still, there is the Violent Dispersal. He's going to deal with the Life Stealer on its own merits. And there we go. What has Morwenna got to respond with at this point? Blessing of Haste, going to go ahead and actually take out the Scattergunner. So there's a Cursemonger as well, and I don't know, maybe Morwenna's just going to take the card draw and let Ghost Bomb have it. That could prove pretty consequential, but right now Ghost Bomb in the position he was trying to avoid before. He has 2 structures on the board, but Morwenna definitely having more in the way of creatures, more in the way of board presence. But right now, Ghost Bomb getting all kinds of stuff, and he's 1 away from having the dreaded sort of pseudo-hasted Solemn Giant. It just takes 10 resources to drop and attack 1 turn. Kind of a nice sweet spot break point, but right now Morwenna needing to respond, getting nutrition out, I'm sure. There's the Puppet Soldier, there's the nutrition, gonna take out the Solemn Giant, as now Morwenna stacking this row of cards. Clock Library goes off, gives Ghost Bomb a few cards, another Spark, an Iron Whip, and a Gravelock Elder, but that's not going to do a whole lot this turn, unless he decides to drop the Gravelock Elder and Iron Whip this one and try and kill it, or he could Spark. A lot of things he can do, but of course I'm not in the player seat, so I can't necessarily say what he will do. However, he's got to possibly do something to protect this creature. There's the Iron Whip actually on the Clock Library. See, this is why he's a better player than I am, as many of these players are. We got more creatures dropping. He's got a Bombard as well, so that's going to take out the Life Stealer. He gets extra cards, has an extra Bombard as well. So Ghost Bomb with a very good turnaround there, as the Solemn Giant gets to stand, at least for now. This Gravelock Elder is languided, but it'll live, at least for the time being. The Ilmar Hunter, this whole scary row dropping down unit by unit, as we get another Puppet Soldier. Morwenna not liking these Solemn Giants at all, electing to spend 2 cards to take out 1 card. And Morwenna's actually in a pretty tough spot, because now he only has 1 card in his hand to Ghost Bomb's 10. So those 2 Clock Libraries, huge at this point. Just huge. And he does have a Thunder Surge that he can use to try and soften up some units if he elects to. Gets out a second Gravelock Elder instead. Is this going to be a second Bombard? It could take out this creature if that's what he's going to do here. There we go, Bombard, clearing multiple things in the row. There goes the Cursemonger as well, as GhostBomb showing why 2 Gravelock Elders are better than 1. Whew, Morwenna. With maybe cards to respond, there is an Oblivion Seeker, so at least that's some card draw to try and tuck cards behind. And the Rod Eater is a little bit stronger at this point. Is GhostBomb going to actually use Thunder Surge, a card that you do not see many people play, but GhostBomb's using it today. He's going to get out the Automata Forge, at least, to try and tuck behind one of his Gravelock Elders, try and tuck his non-disenchanted units. There's the Thunder Surge to weaken his creatures, but he is electing to sacrifice 1 to the Illmire Hunter. But right now it's interesting because he is showing that maybe, just maybe, he could attack with some Dust Runners because all these units are now vulnerable to Dust Runner if he leaves them exposed, if he uses something like an Iron Whip. But there's a Pother for the Gravelock Elder. And oh no. Are we going to have this Gravelock Elder die all of a sudden? No, we're just going to have, 6 damage. That's right, and that's where the UI issues get to be a little bit of a question right there. The Cursemonger had cast Curse on this Gravelock Elder, so that's why this did 6 damage. Both Gravelock Elders down. I hope we do have some UI improvements in the future. So GhostBomb saying what as well. He missed it too, so that's something when the player misses it too. Mojang, that's something that they're working on, but still, beta is beta. And right now, 2 Gravelock Elders down, 1 Dust Runner Brain Laced. He could actually elect to pew the Oblivion Seeker, or he could Thunder Surge and kill almost everything here. There we go. Thunder Surge, taking down 2. And he can actually take out the Illmire Hunter as well. So still a board clear, but not with 2 Gravelock Elders like GhostBomb might have been hoping for. So, no, actually, that's right. Because this Dust Runner was languided, it has to actually do damage. The Illmire Hunter lives. And that's where we say, oh no! As we have the Witch Doctor going on up. GhostBomb can spark. Could actually spark, and that's actually what it does. He sparks and he Violent Dispersals. And once again, he has control of the board. But at this point, he's going to have to Iron Whip this Dust Runner to actually get it to auto-kill something. But he does have an Iron Whip in hand. He does have a Storm Runner, which doesn't do idle damage, but does a lot to clear the board. There is another Harvester, and there's a Puppet Soldier. We're going to have the Nutrition as well. Of course we are. You don't see Puppet Soldiers without Nutrition. They're just like best friends. So no Automata Forge fun for GhostBomb at this point. And his Dust Runner is not going to be able to do a whole lot against the Harvester either, but he does get a Solemn Giant. That Solemn Giant's going to be able to take out a Harvester. So that is a good draw right there for GhostBomb. Yes, he is going to have to deal with this Illmire Hunter, but that can be another turn if Morwenna doesn't have anything that he can do about it. GhostBomb also having the possibility of dropping that Dust Runner in front as a chump blocker. But for now, Harvester out, GhostBomb advantage. Still not a lot of idle damage. It looks like this game's going to take its dear sweet time. So there's the Damning Curse on the Solemn Giant, but not before it did enough damage. GhostBomb does not seem to have the necessary tools to take out this Illmire Hunter at this point, unless he wants to Storm Runner Bombard. But even then, he'll have to do an Iron Whip once again to get his Dust Runner to actually work. So he elects to drop the Automata Forge instead, drops more structures just to try and get scrolls going, drops a Storm Runner. It looks like this Dust Runner, it's been shooting blanks for a while and its days are numbered. Morwenna, on the other hand, just plotting away, now with 8 scrolls, and that's where Decay gets really interesting in the mid to late game here. Getting out plenty of creatures, moving his Illmire Hunter to safety. This Tethered Recruit with really a big kick me sign, because he wants more order if he can get it. GhostBomb, on the other hand, let's see here. Once again, he could possibly bombard right here and take out some good things, and that's what he's going to do. He's going to bombard. It will take out the Tethered Recruit. That's true, and that will give Morwenna more order, but better than not, probably at this rate. As Morwenna does another summons, gets another Puppet Soldier, so that's going to be an issue. But for now, all Morwenna has is 1 Life Stealer, and there's another summon, so 2 puppet soldiers in Morwenna's hand, as that's the only scroll that he's carrying. And there goes an Automata Forge. There's the nutrition. Oh Lord, we've seen this song and dance before. So Morwenna in good shape, but it looks like that Ilmire Hunter's about to get violent dispersal, more than likely. I'd be shocked if it wasn't. There we go. So GhostBomb with the scattergunner that he can drop, just trying to keep his creatures up. Still both players doing a nice dance of death or circling back and forth. No one really able to get the other hand, both going toe to toe at this point. But somebody's got to have the trump card at some point. Morwenna's coming back from making those low card trades early just to take out Solemn Giants, just to take out priority units. And there's a Harvester as well. If Morwenna can just keep that Harvester alive, it's gonna be a good day. But what do we got instead? We got a possible burn. Is that burn gonna be on the Oblivion Seeker? Is probably my biggest question at this point. Nope, the burn on, or no, the Scorch and burn combo on the Cursemonger. So Curse definitely a scary, scary thing at this point. GhostBomb having Desperation if he'd like to use it. Having a Spark as well. The question is, what do you want to do with an Oblivion Seeker that's just sitting there? Is Morwenna going to just let it die? Of course, that's probably what Morwenna wants, just to get some cards. But at this point, bombs away. There goes the Stormrunner, doing at least a little bit of damage. Once again, the Oblivion Seeker living to fight another day. There's an Ilmire Witch Doctor. And the Transposition just to get this Oblivion Seeker to a place where, oh, that was interesting, double card draw. Morwenna apparently changing his mind at this point, wanting to take out the Dust Runner instead of the Scattergunner. Perfectly defensible here, but now GhostBomb can drop a Solemn Giant here and take out that Harvester before it can do much in the way of harm, if that's what he'd like to do. Or he could cast Violent Dispersal and just save it for another day. And it looks like right now he's actually dropping the Solemn Giant to take out the Witch Doctor. Since he did draw the Violent Dispersal, he does have his pick of how he wants to deal with that Harvester, or when he wants to deal with that Harvester. But for now, it's going to be more idle damage, one more countdown down. If Morwenna has 2 Blessings of Haste, then this card may get to go. Or if he has a Damning Curse and a Blessing of Haste, this Harvester could go. But what harm is it really going to do? It could do 8 idle damage. There's a Pother. Not the best Pother in the world, but there's a Blessing of Haste on the Oblivion Seeker. Damning Curse as well. Puppet Soldier. We're going to get the nutrition? Yes, so this is all attacking. This is quite the damn board clear at this point. Morwenna just shellacking GhostBomb right there. Look at those cards. Look at what was played. Pother, Damning Curse, Blessing of... Just how many resources, how many of these cheap cards just flipping the board. GhostBomb having a huge advantage, and now just nothing. He has a Violent Dispersal. He can take out the Harvester, but the Harvester's already done some work here. He actually burns it instead because he can count, and I'm just too busy gawking at the cards. But now, got to catch breath just a little bit here because we are at 10 resources spent. And it is going to be Morwenna clawing back into this after GhostBomb getting such a big board advantage. As there's a second Oblivion Seeker. Once again, you don't want to feed Morwenna cards if you can. And this is why, as we get the tentacly creature back-scratching the Oblivion Seeker, that's something that you probably see every day in the Ilmire swamps. So GhostBomb, he does get another Solemn Giant. That is like a very expensive hasted unit if he wants to. Or he could cast Violent Dispersal, or he could cast Thunder Surge, or he could do any number of things. But you got to play nice to see how you buff or not buff your Rod Eater. So he elects to Thunder Surge. That does give him a little more health. Question now is what else has he got here? Is he going to haste the Solemn Giant entirely? No, not this turn. So there we go. Just 1 extra health for this Rod Eater, as now it doesn't have its friend to back scratch. But Morwenna with 6 cards. Each time you kill an Oblivion Seeker, that's more cards. And now we have more Dancing Tentacles, more Cursemongers. Just more things to play. There's the Blessing of Haste as well as that Solemn Giant just left in a completely undefended position and just eats it. Kind of a misplay there by GhostBomb at that point, but Morwenna taking advantage of GhostBomb trying to keep position out of the Puppet Master Nutrition combo. So there's only so much you can do. You just can't stack your high value units like you could say against Growth or Order. So I take back the misplay commentary. Then again, with my recent games that I play, I have no room to talk about who's misplaying and who's not. As GhostBomb drops a bombard down here, is that going to be enough to actually take this out? Yes! Board clear for GhostBomb just at the right time. Gets a lot down, and now it's just going to be a matter of can he capitalize? Can he start getting after some of the idols? But right away, Morwenna having plenty of ways to attack. Getting Brain Lice out on multiple creatures. That's going to be extra card draw next turn. Morwenna not putting out any creatures, so there's nothing to Violent Dispersal. GhostBomb taking advantage, putting down the Clock Library. But I am expecting a pretty massive counterattack from Morwenna next turn. Because right now, GhostBomb is going to be losing a few creatures before he can use them. As much as he'd probably like to do some basic idle damage here, he is going to lose 2 ranged units. But now we're just down to Morwenna. What do you got? A Pother first off, so this looks like it's going to be a Puppet Nutrition combo perhaps. Dropping the Cursemonger, dropping a second Cursemonger. No, we're not having a Puppet this time. Just Morwenna shopping for more cards. There's 2 poisons going off. Shopping for more cards at this point. GhostBomb possibly getting the Automata Forge right now. He may have to Iron Whip his Clock Library, but no, he elects to cast Desperation right here on the Gun Automaton, which telegraphs the bombard that's coming right now. GhostBomb's going to be clearing the board again, and this time getting some idle damage to boot. So right away, good times are being had by GhostBomb, as now he's ahead of the curve. This is where you want to be his energy. If you can just keep clearing the board, eventually good things start happening to you. But oh, there's the Puppet Soldier before the Clock Library can go. And there's an Oblivion Seeker as well. So GhostBomb getting the board clear, but not getting his bonus cards. Still out in front, not having as many cards in his hand, but it's still reasonably close. He could elect to burn this Oblivion Seeker, but GhostBomb now looking like he doesn't want to give away cards if he doesn't have to. So he elects to pump his Automata Forge. He elects to get out more little tiny automata. And I guess the other question is he going to be going for more idols here momentarily? In fact, he does burn. So GhostBomb deciding it's more valuable for me to get rid of creatures on the board than letting them stick around, even if it does mean Morwenna gets more cards. So an interesting play, and notice this beautiful spread. That is some luck from the Automata Forge. But this is not what you want to see line by line for a Puppet Nutrition combo right here, as Morwenna drawing creatures, putting up the Pother. There's the Harvester as well. And we get the Puppet here, so there's going to be a Nutrition. There goes the Automata Forge. Damning Curse as well. Whew. Right away, just back and forth, GhostBomb and Morwenna not really being able to get out in front on top of each other. But if these Harvesters get to keep going off, it's going to spell trouble for GhostBomb, but not this time. That Damning Curse is just enough to let the bombard do its thing, as GhostBomb gets yet another board clear. This is just board clear after board clear, as Energy and Decay both really good at deleting other cards. I don't know why I just said deleting, but clearing the board back and forth. But there we go. Bye-bye, Harvester. But Morwenna keeps getting cards, so it's going to be a matter of what is Morwenna going to do this time. Another Oblivion Seeker, as the draw engine is just outpacing Energy at this point. This isn't even a draw-focused deck. It's just Oblivion Seekers and Brain Lice for the most part. So GhostBomb dropping units up top, dropping down a Gravelock Elder. 2 Gravelock Elders. Not the 2-hit combo you want to see here, but still in a really, really good spot at this point. He could potentially cast Fury next turn and do a ton of damage. I don't think he'll necessarily be able to end the game. Or wait, actually, if he does have an opportunity to burn and move this guy down, he could potentially end the game next turn by moving these Gravelock Elders up. Morwenna is going to have to do something to deal with it. Language to start. Ilmire Hunter right there. And there we go. GhostBomb has a really good play in store if he wants to Fury. But he's not going to be able to get a lot with the Gun Automaton now. But he is going to be able to take out at least one idol here. He is going to go for the Oblivion Seeker. And there goes the Violent Dispersal as well. So there's a Scattergunner. And it looks like we're not going to have the very aggressive go for all the idols play this turn. He's going to elect to let his Gravelock Elders go off next turn. Because Morwenna right now, down to only 5 cards, has played a lot of cards each turn. But there's only so much that you can do. GhostBomb in a really commanding position right now, but doesn't have enough to drop Fury, which drops all cooldowns by 1. So 1 idle down, and no damage, so no extra cards. Morwenna with 6, probably going to be up to 7 here in just a second. What do we got? There's the Illmire Hunter to try and defend one of the lines there. Transposition as well. There goes the Scattergunner. And oh no, the Puppet Soldier Nutrition combo. Taking out 3 cards. Another Illmire Hunter. Whew. So that attack of opportunity GhostBomb had, he sat on it for 1 turn. Didn't take it, and now he just has a Gravelock Elder that's not going to be able to do a lot on his own. He's only as strong as his bronies out with him. I can't believe I just said bronies. Because we get a Spark Burn combo. So GhostBomb getting an extra card out of that. It's going to be an Automata Forge. If there is one thing that GhostBomb has to his advantage right now, it's that he hasn't taken a lot of idle damage, but he is allowing Morwenna to get more cards. Just every time, more cards, more cards. It's a cost-benefit analysis, that's for sure, as we get Languid taking out the Copper Automaton. Blessing of Haste is, oh shit. GhostBomb doing his usual GhostBomb thing of raging in chat as we get just more and more creatures. Practically a board clears. This Gun Automaton has no attack. And just look at that. From 2 turns ago, where GhostBomb was a turn away from ending the game, to nothing. He has nothing that he can do to play aggressively to attack here. And now Morwenna is in really good shape. I think by turn 37, we've left the mid-game or go into the late game. And Decay can just be so strong. They can really start to roll here. But GhostBomb putting out a Clock Library, hoping to get some cards, kind of throwing his hands up and almost sacrificing this 1 idol if Morwenna can do something to play it. But at least at this time, Morwenna not getting bonus cards, but getting a second Harvester. That's terrifying. You do not want to see multiple Harvesters on the board if you can avoid it. GhostBomb, though, getting a Solemn Giant. He could drop the Solemn Giant and take out 1 Harvester if he uses all of his resources this turn. Or he could drop the Solemn Giant and take out the Illmire Hunter this turn. So plenty of options. Looks like he's going after the card that's going to attack that can automatically nuke his card. That does mean that Solemn Giant is probably going to get Damning Curse this turn, just based on the number of cards that Morwenna's drawn. I'm not much of a card counter here to see just how much somebody's played, but GhostBomb going for the 10 energy play at this point. As there goes the Solemn Giant. The combo you kind of dread against energy. The combo in 1 card, one could say. So GhostBomb saying play your 10th Damning Curse. He's counting cards apparently. I'm not. And there we go. Another Pother just moving creatures up and down, left and right. And there's the Puppet Soldier as well. Nutrition. GhostBomb being a savant, being able to call it as he sees it, as now Morwenna is in a huge advantage as that other Clock Library is taking damage. This Harvester just down to 1 countdown. It's a Blessing of Haste away. And now there is just no exposed place that he can go. GhostBomb, it looks like he's pumping the Solemn Giant. It looks like he's going to just gun straight for an idol here, because if he can get down 1 idol, he has plenty of ways that he can play. Because it does take 3 idols to win, as many times as you clear board. And GhostBomb still does have a lot of idle health, so he still is in this game. He just has to find a way to deal with those 2 Harvesters. And that, as they say, is not going to be easy. As there's a Brain Lice and a Blessing of Haste. Oh no, that Solemn Giant is as good as dead. And now Morwenna dropping his units down, looking like he's going to go in for the kill. That Harvester ready to go next turn. Does GhostBomb have a response? He might. There's a Storm Runner sitting right there. Can he actually buff it to the point where it can actually do some damage? Because right now it's targeting both Harvesters. There's the second one. There's the Desperation. And oh my gosh, the Bombard as well. All he has to do is move his units. There we go. Desperation working incredibly in his favor because he gets plus attack for every opponent creature on the row. As now there is 2 Harvesters down. There goes another Bombardment. Storm Runner saving GhostBomb's ass at this point. As one of them is now going to be languided, but they did their job. Those Harvesters could have completely wrecked GhostBomb, but instead, yes, he may have gotten another Puppet Soldier through that, but at this stage of the game. Round 41, both players have been going on for a while, and both players keeping incredible focus for a game that's been taking so long and running and running and running. But now it's just a matter of GhostBomb needs to get down one more idol. Morwenna needs to start pressing the advantage because there's a violent dispersal. Just got to do something to take advantage of the board as it's there. GhostBomb pulling up to 11 resources. He seems to like to have the cards that he has, as there's a scattergunner, but he doesn't really have a way to end the game this turn as much as he probably like. Because that Fury's not going to do a lot of good, and he doesn't have the energy for Bombard. There is another summons, and there's a Pother as well. Oh, do we have the Puppet Soldier Nutrition combo coming again? There we go. There's the Puppet Soldier, but it's in the... There's no nutrition that I'm seeing. Is there a nutrition coming? No. Another Life Stealer. So there is the defensive Puppet Soldier. GhostBomb will die. Or will lose creatures. But Morwenna saying good game in advance. So apparently Morwenna not liking the position that he's in. Sorry about the dog in the background there. Not a lot I can do about that. But GhostBomb, what does he have here? Can he end the game? He drops a Dust Runner. He drops a Cannon Automaton, and oh my goodness, is he going to bombard here? Yes, he does. So that is 10 idle damage on the bottom row. GhostBomb, after the slight meltdown mid-game, which I totally understand, sticks with it, perseveres, and wins in round 42 by doing 10 idle damage in one go. So there you have it, GhostBomb with energy overtaking and defeating Morwenna with a tricolor Decay, pretty standard deck that we see all the time. But that's it for now. This is Way to Fail, sending you another Scrolls ranked replay with two players that really know their stuff. That's it for now. Hope you all enjoyed it. If you have any replays you want to send to me, feel free to do so. Message me on YouTube, wherever else you feel is appropriate to message. That's it for now. See you all next time.